This woman should not be allowed to own horses, nor should she even be able to look at another horse for the rest of her life. This woman in the picture is Katie Lee Farrell with Freedom Performance Horses in New Jersey. And she did some pretty unbelievable stuff, so let's jump into it. In this picture is Amber Leanne Johnson and her horse Whiskey. Amber sent her horse Whiskey to Katie's facility to get started on her saddle and get some training in. As you can see in this picture, Whiskey is a young, healthy colt. He left Amber's stables in great health condition, and this is what he looked like before he left. Anyways, Amber was paying about $1,000 a month to cover feeding expenses and the training that was going into Whiskey during these 4.5 months that he was away from her and getting started on her saddle. Katie would send Amber pictures, and she was telling her that Whiskey was doing great and she had no concerns with him, like he was training was going well, like everything was good, and she would send her pictures. But Amber started noticing that all the pictures that she was getting from Katie had Whiskey in a blanket. And eventually she kind of got a little suspicious, and she's just like, hey, could I get a picture of Whiskey without his blanket on? Katie was very hesitant and really didn't respond to it. And eventually she calls her and she's like, hey, can I get a picture of Whiskey without his blanket? And she goes, actually, I have the vet here right now. He's not doing good. He's down. So like, I can't get a picture for you right now. So they get the vet on the phone, and the vet starts talking to Amber, and she tells her, like, your horse has botulism. It needs to be euthanized. Like, it's not going to make it. So, of course, that upset Amber, but she just did not want Whiskey to be suffering, so she authorized the euthanasia over the phone, stayed on the phone while the whole procedure was going on, and Whiskey was euthanized. After Whiskey was euthanized, Amber asked Katie if she could get that picture without a blanket on Whiskey so she could see him before they came and picked up the body, and Katie never responded. Eventually, she replies, but she goes, oh, I'm sorry, they already came up and the shipper's already picked up the body and he's already in transit. So Amber, on her own accord, took the liberty to contact the shipper and have them redirect to her house, which is an hour and a half away. And what they pull out of the trailer, what is left of Whiskey, is horrific. Trigger warning, it's going to be a little graphic. This is what Whiskey looked like when they pulled him out of the trailer. As you can see, he is absolutely skin wrapped on bones. And if I'm being 100% honest, I don't even see rescue horses in this bad of shape. He is absolutely emaciated. So in 4 months, Whiskey went from healthy and filled out to absolutely and completely emaciated in conditions I have never seen before. So of course, after seeing Whiskey's body, Amber was really concerned and wanted to get an autopsy done to determine the actual cause of death. And the answer is going to blow you away. It was starvation, not botulism. But anyways, meanwhile, all this was going on. Guess what Katie was up to? Katie was busy showing her horses in Western dressage. And like, you would almost think, maybe she ran out of money. Maybe she couldn't afford to feed the horses that were in her care. Wrong. She bought a Clydesdale stallion while all of this was taking place. But wait, it gets even worse. Amber posted a post on her Facebook January 29th of this year, and in her Facebook post, she put, my good friend, Katie Lee Farrell. She's training my colt Whiskey right now. So she said she's a good friend, which implies that at least they knew each other to a decent extent. So the cherry on top of all of this is that her friend is the one who killed her horse. As an equestrian, this horrifies me. This is one of my worst nightmares. If I found out something like this happened to my horse, I would have absolutely lost my mind. I cannot imagine what Amber's going through right now. I can't imagine the grief she's feeling knowing what her horse Whiskey went through those past 4.5 months. Anyways, my heart goes out to Amber and her family, and we want justice for Whiskey. And Katie needs to never even look at another horse for the rest of her life. She needs to be banned from horses, and honestly banned from all animals in general. She does not need to be around animals for the duration of her life. Please, please be careful where you send your horses, people, because you may think you know someone and they're going to turn around and do the unthinkable. Be careful. Please, if you take anything away from this video, please be careful.